And we continue with our 2026 Cleveland Guardians spring training preview here on the Kenny and JT show. And we all know last year what the Guardians did, right? Guilty as charged. There's no way they're making the playoffs. They're down 15 and a half games. They got no chance of coming back as a talk show host. We're spewing this stuff. And all they did was catch the Tigers, surpass the Tigers, win another Central Division championship. And joining us, one of the guys who was a key part of that rotation who got that all done last year, Slade Cecconi. How are you, Slade?
Doing great. You're doing real good here in Goodyear.
I wanted to be upfront and honest with you. I was one of those guys doubting you guys last year, and I'm sure there were a lot more than just me.
I
How were
think you
you
were among
guys?
the 99%.
Yeah, right. How were you guys able to stay so focused and not give up on that and come all the way back and win that Central Division championship? It was the largest comeback in Major League Baseball history.
Yeah, as a clubhouse, we didn't really look at the standings or look at the our stats we were just trying to play the game that day the best we could and give ourselves the best chance to win that day. Some days you got to win 2-0. Some days you win, 12 to 4. Some days you blow them out. Some days you get smoked. Whatever happens that day can't affect you the next day. And I think we did a great job of, you know, when we were on that really bad losing streak, it didn't feel like it wasn't like, oh, well, we lost 10 in a row. It's like, no, we lost today. We're going to try to win tomorrow. Okay, we lost. All right, well, let's win tomorrow. Okay, we didn't string those together and like keep that weight on our backs the whole time.
As I look back on it, I'm trying to remember. I think you guys went 17-2 at one point down the stretch. So when you were approaching it with the losing streak that way, did you approach it the same way with the winning streak?
Yeah, we approached no matter what happened. That when as soon as you leave the field, that day ends. You go home, you be your wife, your kids, your girlfriend, maybe you're just by yourself, and as soon as you wake up that next day, it restarts. It's a new day. No matter what happened the day before, it's over.
All right, for you, what do you remember most about last year? What were you happy with as you went 7-7 as a starter for the Guardians, and what are you hoping to improve on, Slate?
Yeah, I think last year was the first year where I really harnessed the ability to get deep into ball games and attack hitters. Um, I would like to keep that mindset and that mentality, and maybe decrease the amount of hard hit balls OPS that I give up. Um, Understand that there's certain situations like count, nobody on base, where I might just be super aggressive with a guy, but trying to understand the more like the in-game situations where maybe being quite as aggressive as I was would be a little bit disadvantageous, and be more particular with my pitch execution in those situations rather than trying to roll and get through innings quick when nobody's on, nobody out, 2 outs, nobody on, those certain situations. So situational awareness with my pitch execution is definitely an area where I think I can grow.
All right, so how is Slade Cecconi a different pitcher from the Arizona Diamondback days to now the Cleveland Guardian days, and how much has Carl Willis been a factor in that?
Yeah, I've added a sinker, I've added a cutter, I've increased my curveball usage, I've changed my changeup grip, I've decreased my four seam fastball usage. I have, uh, as you see, I can keep, if the gears keep turning, I'll keep coming up with stuff. But the bottom line is I've kind of reinvented myself as a different version of the pitcher that I was when I was drafted, which was just a fastball slider guy with two other off speed pitches that weren't all that much of a factor. I was forced to develop better secondary stuff and variations of fastballs off my four seam that the game just dictated that that's what I needed to do to be successful and stick. And I listened. I worked very hard on developing these pitches and sharpening up the off speed. And it's certainly not over. The progress never stops. But I was very happy to see that full commitment to the new identity that I have as a pitcher last year for the first time.
All right, good friend of mine does the on-field reporting. You know him, Andre Knott, right? So I'm watching one of the games you started, and I'm looking at your shoes. And I'm looking at your and I'm getting up close. I'm freeze framing it. So I text Dre, during the game, right? And I'm like, Dre, what kind of shoes does Slade have out there? I forget what game it was. I think they were the gray ones, maybe, or something like
Yeah.
that. right? And I'm like, dude, you got to fill me in. Talk to him after the game. I got to know what kind of shoes you. So share for me. I want to know from
Yeah.
you as well as our viewing audience and our listening audience the shoes you were supporting last year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always wear Mizuno. I'm with Mizuno. They treat me very well. And the shoes are actually custom painted by Stadium Custom Kicks. We have a great relationship. They've been doing my cleats for a few years now. So Mizuno and Stadium Customs, they take really good care of me. And I got three new ones coming this year that are I got the mock-ups on my phone. I won't show anybody yet, but we got some hard stuff coming. They always do a home, away, and a city connect for me. So I got 3 pairs every year coming from them. They do fantastic work.
That's awesome. How did you start doing that? What I guess what started all of that for you?
Yeah, I think it started actually way back when in 2023, maybe. I forget which year. But I did I think I did a back when I wasn't with Mizuno quite yet and was
Okay.
just kind of freelancing. I was like, I want to do something different, and got a pair that I ended up using for my debut. And then the next year, my parents for Christmas basically said, "Hey, we're gonna, get you another custom pair," because that was really cool. So
All right.
started with that, and then 1 turned into 3, and then 3 turned into like an annual thing where it's like we have a great relationship. They know what I like, I know what I like, and we work really well together. So it started as like just kind of like we'll try it out, and then it turned into hey man, I'm here in the show. I might as well wear some swaggy cleats.
Right. That's awesome, man. Well,
Yeah.
I've termed you Bigfoot because I see those things out there, man. And so how about this? We got the big rig and we got Bigfoot in that starting
Yeah.
rotation.
They definitely stand out a little bit more. They look a little bit bigger when you got all that custom paint job on them. They pop a little bit.
Yeah, they do. They're outstanding. So keep doing that for sure. And also, as a starter with this team, 7-7. You and I were talking before we started. 4.30 ERA. You didn't even know, which is awesome. I think that's great. Just so the team wins, right? And you give your team a chance to win. With that in mind, what did you work on this offseason, and what are the goals, I guess, for 2026 for you?
Yeah, I think sharpening up some of the secondary stuff, and trying to backspin the heater a little bit more and keep that vertical profile. Those are the 2 things that you're probably always going to hear about me is trying to have the sharpest spin that I can have and the most backspin I can on my heater. Those are the 2 areas where when I'm spinning stuff sharply and creating carry on my fastball, my results show up a little bit better. And the other thing is going to be just working with the catchers and the staff on figuring out what my best pitch mix looks like, and how I can avoid giving up damage by just throwing different pitches in different situations that will lead to a lower expected slug in OPS.
Well, we wish you nothing but the best. We're looking forward to seeing you on the hill, looking forward to seeing the new cleats as well.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing you at the ballpark sometime here in the near future. All right, Slade?
Absolutely.
Appreciate that. Slade Cecconi, another one of the outstanding starting pitchers for the Cleveland Guardians, joining us here on our spring training preview show. We'll get a break in right now. We'll come back with more right after this. Thanks, Slade.